Okay. Okay. Hello. Daniel here. Um. Maybe not. What's my... Okay. I'll be teaching people how to make an exodia deck. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm gonna be teaching people how to make an exodia deck for Yugioh. To those of you who are wondering, Yugioh is a card game. So, it can be very difficult to make some of those from time to time. Anyway, let's get started. First thing you're going to need is the exodia pieces. 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, let me see if I can get this organized. 3, 4, and 5. So these are the pieces. No ideas, no done. And once again, people left. Sucks for me. I'm not gonna give up. Okay. No one seems to break out. Since people's not doing anything, I wonder if I should just give up on this. Alright. Since no one seems to break out. Send. Alright. Hey, Autumn. Yeah. Oh, didn't say you're actually on here. Interesting. Alright, so, yeah. So, for those of you wondering, these are the exodia pieces. It's basically like an instant win if you get all 5 of them. Yep. There's the main part, exodia, the forbidden one. Right arm and left arm, forbidden one. Right leg and left leg. Now, you're going to want all 5 of these in your deck, just because, well, that's the kind of deck we're making today. And if you get all 5 of them in your hand, you pretty much win instantly. So, now I'll just set these aside, because we're going to need those. Next up for monster cards. Yes, Matt, I know it's... my Wi-Fi sucks. Don't worry about it. Hold on, let me try something. Give me a minute. Do that. See if this Wi-Fi will fix itself. And let's find out. Okay, guys, is that Bell? Alright, try this again. Is that Bell? If it is, just say yes. If not, I don't know. Okay, good. So it's just the Wi-Fi. I had to reset it. Alright. So we obviously need the 5 exodia pieces. That's obvious. Set those aside for now. Next, since I'm using my phone, it'll be moving around a lot. Next things we're going to need, just because, in my opinion, we're going to need a lot of defense, because it'll help stall the game a bit. So what I have for defense is Mystical Elf, level 4 with 2,000 defense. If you guys can see that. If not, see 2,000 defense, Mystical Elf. You want 3 of these. So I'll set that in the power for now, because well, defense is always helpful. Especially in a game where if you get attacked a few times, you lose. Next thing I'm going to add is Spirit of the Harp. Another 2,000 level 4 monster. Also for defense. Basically, I'm adding a lot of defenses, okay? Now, for the next 2,000 defense, I'll add Skordog Marin. Or Marone, I can't really pronounce it. See if there, as well. 2,000 defense, again. Anything else with 2,000 defense? Let me check my pile over here. See. Yes, looks like 2 more of 2,000 defense. Aqua Mador for, if I was zooming in, 2,000 defense. And the last one is Performer Power Second Donkey, another 2,000 defense one. These will help stall the game a bit in case people try to attack you. Obviously. Next, for more defensive reasons, is Performer Power Camel Lump. It has 1,800 defense, so that's always helpful. And then the last one for defensive reasons will be Blast Magician, 1,700 defense. Pretty good for defense. Not the best, but whatever. Now the next things we're going to add, just for reference in the future, is a bunch of Dark Magicians, preferably 3. Just because it'll be helpful to have them, and there are cards that will definitely work with this deck with that. 3 of them. And then, that's alright, Autumn, that's alright. The last thing, well not last thing, but a monster that'll be used pretty well for summoning them is Skilled Dark Magician. Just because its effect says, each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on it. When you have 3 spell counters on it, you can summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So that'll be helpful for getting Dark Magician out faster. Next, just because why not, Dark Magician Go. 2 of them. So those are the monsters. Those are just why not, right? Just because they'll be helpful there. Alright. So, now that we got the monsters out of the way, we want 20 monsters. This will be a 40 card deck. Just to let you guys know. So, 20 cards, that's from there. 40 cards total, 20 monsters. There'll be 10 spells and traps here. The first spell and trap I would add is... Hold on, can't really read that very well. Is a Swords of Greenlight, because the main reason is your opponent, when you use this, can now attack for 3 turns. So that's a good card to have. And I will add, I think I have no one in here, let me check. Okay, no, that'll be the only one of those. Oh wait, nope, 2 of them, sorry. 2 Swords of Greenlight, 2 of them. Next thing I'd add for drawing power, just to draw a bunch of cards, which is always helpful. Now, granted, one of these I don't think is tournament legal, but this won't be for tournament. If you want to add tournament legal, I'd say some other version of it. But for non-tournament legal, I do Pot of Greed. It will allow you to draw 2 cards, just from the top of your deck, obviously. So that'll be helpful. Drawing power, why not, right? Another drawing card is Shard of Greed. This one is when you draw on your draw phase. you can add per greed count on it, which when you have 2 of them, you can send it to the graveyard and draw 2 more cards. That's always helpful. Then there's Pot of Duality. Really strange looking card, I know. But when you do it, it means excavate them. That means draw, pretty much. Well, take 3 from the top, add 1 of them to your hand. This one is legal, you're correct, Matthew. You add to your hand and shuffle the other 2 back to your deck. You cannot special summon, but whatever, right? Normal summoning to me as well. Now, the last one is actually not a pot at all. It's a equip spell called Necklace of Command. It has 2 different effects depending on what happens. First, you have to equip it to a monster. Then, if the monster is destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard, you can either draw a card, which is what I would use it for in this case, or discard 1 random card from... Okay, come on, YouTube. Hold on. From 1 random card from your opponent's hand. I'd use it for the drawing power for this case. Next, because we have Dark Magician in here, you know, why not? Add a Dark Magic attack, which will... hold on. Destroy all the spells and traps that your opponent controls. Just because if they have something along the lines of card destruction, which will discard both your hands, and you have Exodia pieces in there, it would be nice to use. Next up is 1,000 Knives. That one will, if you have a Dark Magician, will target 1 monster your opponent has and destroy it. Also a good idea. 2 more spells. First one is the field spell, which goes in a different area. You know, top corner, somewhere. Is Sorcerer's Spell Wall. Just because if you want to help yourself more powerful, you can have it for, on your turn, all monsters you control gain 300 attack, your turn only. And then for your opponent's control, they gain 300 defense. Pretty good. The last spell card is also good for defense, if you really need defense, is Yellow Luster Shield, which increases the defense of all monsters on your side of the field by 300. Even if they're face down, when they're face up, they'll get a boost. Next thing is traps. Traps normally can be traps can only be used after they're set on the field face down, and they can be used on your turn after you set them down, like the turn after, or on your opponent's turn. So the first cards I'm adding for something like for traps, the first 2 would be Magic Jammer for when your opponent tries to use a card like Card Destruction, which would discard your entire hand. That's always helpful. It'll negate 1 spell card. You have to discard, but it'll negate the activation of a spell card and destroy the spell card. Makes sense, right? So it's really hot in Ohio. So that's why you hear me exhaling a bunch. Really sweaty. Alright, next card is one for drawing power. And it is Jar of Greed. It will allow you to draw a card. Always helpful. See, it says draw 1 card from your deck. That is a very good card for an Exodia deck. Like I said, drawing power is key. Next thing I would do is for making sure they can't attack would be negate attack. See it? Now, if you don't have something like that, I'd suggest, let me see if I can find it. Don't remember why I played. It's probably out of my deck somewhere. If you don't have this negate attack, you could use something like Threatening Roar, another trap card. They can't attack at all. Negate attack only negates 1 attack. Now, for some reason I couldn't find my Threatening Roar, so we'll just stick with negate attack for now. Next cards are something that will definitely help. Let's see if I can find them. 1, 2, 3, and 4 just in case. So, the first card that you would use that I would add for making sure they can't attack or stuff like that is 3 Strikes Barrier. Trap card again. There we go. Nope. Okay, stop blowing up. Dang, I hate YouTube for that. Okay. Alright, give me a minute. Alright. Nope. If your opponent controls exactly 3 cards, activate one of these 3 effects. Oh, yeah. This turn, your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage. Or, each time a monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you gain the same amount of life points. All of those are good effects. Possibly, I'd go for either 1 or 3, you know. The one that decides they can't be destroyed by battle, or if you attack them, you gain life points. The next card is Mirror Force. If they attack with a monster, all their monsters out in attack position are destroyed. That's always good to have, because then your monsters don't get destroyed at all. Next one, Magic Cylinder. When your opponent attacks, they get dealt the damage instead of you. Makes sense, right? The last card related to those cards that make so they can't attack too much is Draining Shield. It does exactly what the card says. You will gain the life points equal to the monster that attack. So let's say you have someone's attacking with a 3,000 attack monster. You gain the 3,000 instead of being dealt it. That's always helpful. Now, if somehow they have a trap card, then they want to activate it. A 7 Tools of the Bandit is always an essential card to any deck, actually. But for this case, it's just perennial. Only one. When the trap card is activated, pay 1,000 life points. That's a small price to pay for this, because you start out for 8,000. Pay 1,000 life points, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the trap card. That is a good card to have in any deck, but it's good for this deck specifically because, again, you never know what your opponent is going to have. But you always want to assume they have a trap card, because that's always something they're going to use. Next thing you want is Shadow Spell. That's just a personal favorite of mine, because if opponent has a monster, you target a monster they control, decrease the attack by 700, and they cannot attack or change its battle position. That's always helpful, especially if they have a really flippin' monster with a crap ton of attack. I should know. I've tried to beat someone like that. Matthew knows who I'm talking about. He knows who I'm talking about entirely. We almost always lose against him. The last trap card, and the last card in general, is Trap Hole. This one, if your opponent normal summons or flip summons a monster with 1,000 or more attack, not less, more, you can destroy that target. Now, if they're tribute summoning, it counts as normal summon. Now, for example, say they are tributing 2 monsters for a level 7 monster. You can use Trap Hole. The summon technically still happens, which means the monsters they used to tribute are still gone, along with their monster that they were summoning. Smart, am I right? Now, I'm going to shuffle this deck and give an example hand. Give me a second. Let's see if I grab all my traps. So, for shuffling, when I'm making a new deck, I usually split all these cards into, like, thoughts. So, traps into thoughts. Spells into thoughts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the monsters. Alright, that's cool, Matthew. That's cool. I may also just do one for a Blue Eyes Shining Dragon deck at some point, too. Next, the monsters I set into thoughts as well. Just to get ready to shuffle. Now, what I do for this is, so here's my setup: 3 piles of traps, 3 piles of spells, 3 piles of monsters. So, for this, the reason I do this is because, well, if they're all stuck together, it makes it a lot, like, if the cards are all organized based on what they are, it makes it a lot harder to get shuffled good. So what I'm going to do is traps, just stick in between this pile here. Spells on the top for that pile. Now for this pile of monsters, I'm going to do traps here, spells on top. Make sense? Like that? See? So, explain. See? Yeah, good, good. Alright, oh, and the exodia pieces. Oh my god, Artemis, stop. Just stop, Audie. Alright, before I forget. This is not one of those live streams, bud. Let me plot these first and set them into, like, actually put these in, like, a different pile. Like that. Before I forget, just because it'll be so unfair if you get all of them in one draw. I should know. Someone's done that before to me. Matthew. Yeah, sorry. Wrong throat. Sorry. Wrong pipe of something. Alright, so. All the exodia pieces are on 1, 2, and 3 piles. I split them up to make it a lot more fair. Now, let's see. Is there anything in the spell? No. Alright, so put that spell there. Spell and trap. Yes, I know you did, Matthew. You've done that before. You've won in one turn with Exodia. Don't get mad at me for speaking the truth. Alright, so there's spells and traps. Traps in middle here and spells there. Traps on top of this, spells on bottom, etc. Now, I am now going to shuffle my own way. Do that there, put them on top. And then I usually shuffle a weird way. Give me a minute, see if I can figure a way to hold this and still make this walk. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I usually do something along the lines of, let me switch this. No, Artemis, I'm not going to do that. Just chill. Yes, I had to switch my camera around. Hi. Okay, so here's how I do it. Now, give me a minute. Do this, grab from middle, do just that, just like that, pretty much. And I drop the card. Give me a minute. Alright, but you get the point. That's how I shuffle on any type of case because I suck at normal shuffling. There. So I'm going to keep shuffling. Like so. Like so. Keep going. Keep doing that. Blah, blah, blah. And then once I'm done shuffling, I'll give a starting hand example. And let's see how that worked out. Actually, no, keep shuffling a bit better. There are times when shuffling, no matter what, this game is basically based on luck, especially this deck. If you don't get any of the cards that Exodia pieces or any drawing cards, you're screwed. Hey, Autumn. Alright, So I'm going to keep shuffling for a minute. And once I'm done, I also usually switch the camera again. Now, what I also do is just completely do this. Kind of like 50 card pickup, except it's 40 cards. I do it just like this. Come on, mix it up. Entirely. And then I stick it all back together just the way I got it. So give me a minute. Let me do that. Now I'm going to switch the camera again while I do this, just because why not? Be a lot... Well, try it this way. That spell. Now the light is not blinding you guys. Sorry about that. Well, except it's not actually picking up, Artemis. It's just a reference. You're just mixing the cards up like people would drop them on the floor, and then you shuffle them all back together by, well, that. You see what I mean? You grab them, put them all back together in a pile, and then voila. That's my way of shuffling for a new deck. Alright, now, then I also shuffle, again, the same way I started with. See, just to be safe than sorry, you never know what's gonna happen if you don't. Keep shuffling, nope. And, okay. Alright. Now, you guys ready for the hand? Starting hand is 5 cards usually, so. But I'm gonna say my opponent goes first. Oh, phone died, didn't it? Oh boy.